been a few months since our last update on Project Redline. We've taken the Mazda back to Heathcote Park Raceway a few times with promising results.
Wasn't going anywhere in a hurry then, that's for sure. It sounds clean enough, but it was definitely a little bit fat, but yeah, no, there's no grip out there at the moment, so hopefully maybe a few more cars down at the lane gets a bit better, but yeah, I had 4 goes of it then, and I don't like facing the wall that much, so I decided to get off it, try back, go through some data and just try again. So, I mean, even if we just can get the tune dialed in today, it's not so much about running a certain time, it's just dialing the tune in. This is the dyno today, essentially, so instead of going to the dyno, I've chosen to come to the track because racing's more fun than sitting on the dyno. Weather's nice for it, so yeah. Go over some data, get back out there. It was like 9.9 AFR. Like I could even hear it missing, and I was like, don't care. Getting there. 10, 1, 129, 23 mile an hour on the back end, 14360, so a bit more boost has helped it, but it was still really rich, so it should be putting on close to probably about 30, low 30 mile an hour in the second half of the track, which just need to tidy that up, and then it should hopefully run a 9. So yeah, awesome. We'll get one more pass today and see how we go. Fuck this. I give up. Felt good. That felt quicker than that last pass, but
yeah, 105. Picked up 5 mile an hour mid track.
Yeah, that must have just been 2.
It sounds pretty fat in the back end.
Yeah, it was. That felt quick. That felt a lot quicker than it did that last pass.
So you got your work boots on again?
Only way to work safe. OHS compliant.
Is Snugget going to start? run them on?
I start off at about 10.5 psi, and then normally do the first burnout and run and come back and just check them again and maintain it, because once you put heat in them through the burnout, they'll the air expands and pressure will go up. So we'll start off at 10.5.
But you never run them lower? You've never tried like 8 or
No,
9?
not yet. It's pretty stable and it's hooked up on that anyway, so I haven't spun them off the line really. It's the lifeblood of every rotary engine that I build for myself and my customers. Can't get better. Maple syrup. This is more like actually golden syrup. Maple syrup's probably like maybe HBR 5.
I can't hear anything except Bendigo FM.
See this one that's not connected? It's connected to the property.
What did you run for him?
I ran at 1050. We're off it probably by the 1,000 foot mark then, but it was we were steering through it, but it just started pushing right and left, and it was all over the shop a bit. So we'll check the tyre pressures again. Went 142 60 foot, which is pretty consistent for this car on this boost at the moment. I think we had to pedal it a bit, so I'll see what it did at half track. I think half track mile an hour of 109, which it went there, that's probably that half track mile an hour I think is probably a PB. So just go over some of the data now and see where we're at, and give it another go. The tune up looks pretty good, but it's good enough to just try and get down the track first. So. Finally! It went even quicker to half track that time, so 109.6, so basically almost 110 mile an hour.
630 was it, mid track?
Yeah, so 630 to half track. Went a bit slower at 60 foot, went 145. We've done 142 before, so a little bit left in it there, but we're not leaving on a heap of boost at there anyway, so mile an hour is not working, so I'll get the laptop out and I'll take a look what mile an hour it did, but yeah, 996. I guess that's the first monkey off the back to run a 9. That was the first goal we set for the car. So it was missing a fair bit in the deep top end of the track. So we'll have a look at that. Maybe pull a tiny bit of fuel out, and yeah, take a look at the data now. So all good. do with how we ended up getting on for the day. 970, 135, 136, I think. Yeah. So the first pass was we got off it. It was pretty skatey, and then stuck to the left lane for the rest of the day. And I think we ran 3 9-second passes, and then one.
I know you ran a 10. You ran a 10:07.
Yeah, definitely ran it through 10:0s, just dialing in the tune a bit, and then we ran back-to-back 970s to finish off the day. So last pass again, it's almost similar to what we did the last meet. We were racing out, when we were trying to run a 9 that pass, we just put a bit more boost into it, and just to get a bit of data. And obviously, I could see when we were driving down the strip, it was hovering around sort of the 1040 fuel ratio range, which is this tiny little misfire you can hear in the car. So obviously it's too rich, and the data says so.
We ran 111 to mid-track the last 2 runs, so it shows there's a fair bit left in it.
Yeah, for sure.
Just without turning the boost up.
Yeah, well, it was on the boost. It went 970 at 136, and then we put probably, I haven't actually looked through the data to see what it is. We probably put maybe another 2 or so, or 3 even PSI into it, 2 or 3, something like that, and it went exactly the same time. So 60 foot, mid-track mile an hour, and end-track mile an hour virtually was the same. It went 700th of a second slower actually. So that's how significantly richer it was from putting the extra boost into it, because it's obviously referencing a different load cell where there was a lot more fuel in it, because we hadn't gone into that sort of load cell since we've been tuning it where it needs to be now. So it just meant it was a hell of a lot richer. So at least now, next time out, I'll go through the data tonight, and I'll know exactly based on that it was at 10.4 and I wanted it to be in the high 10s, to how much fuel I need to pull out of it. And then next time out, hopefully first pass it runs, sort out the 2-step RPM a bit more. We've raised that a bit from 6,000 to 6,500. It seemed to hit the 2-step RPM at about 6,300 watts, so I might raise that a bit more again. It's not blowing the tyres off the line. It was 142, 60 foot was pretty consistent. Did that from the first, and it got a bit slower. So
the car ran. Really, nothing really went wrong at all today.
No, it just kept on doing passes. I mean, it did
fueled it up, put some check the tyre pressures, and that was about it.
Yeah, I didn't even bother pulling the plugs all day, because it was, best part of it sort of not running in these days like C16 and petrol-based fuels or pump fuel like we used to run. Low hydrocarbon fuel with the ethanol really doesn't fail spark plugs. So I don't really. I have another set of plugs there, but I rarely see the need to sort of change the plugs that much. So plugs didn't even pull the plugs at all at any point during the day, just left in there. Like you said, fueled it, emptied the catch can once, I think, and that was it. I think we did 6 or 7 passes or something. Drove it fine, and it was great.
The keys, jack code, trans, and the TCE converter have been.
I haven't touched them. They've been flawless. I mean, I don't. It's a good point actually. I need to actually pull the transparent off and have a look at it, because that's still got the same trans fluid in it from the dyno, I think. So I have not even. It hasn't given a whimper. It's been fantastic. We've had a lot of issues with chopping and changing with injectors, but that really stuffed us around for the first couple of months. But realistically, everything else in this car is.
But even the old Hilux diff that a lot of people in the comments early on said, how could you possibly use a Hilux diff?
Yeah, well, now they're going to put some more power into it. We'll see how well it goes, because that diff. Someone picked up in the comments that when we had a close-up of the axle, it's twisted. I hammered that thing back in there, and I don't care. So it's still holding up, twisted or not twisted. It's done some consistent low 140s over and over again for the last couple of meets, so it's still there. We'll see what happens when we start landing it. I'd really like to see 135, 60 foot out of this car, but it's not really a light car. You got to push it today. It's it's a full steel cage, and there's quite a fair few bars in it that a lot of normal 6-point Android whatever spec roll
I was a bit surprised realise how hard it was to push for a car. It doesn't look that big, the car.
Yeah, so I mean it's a similar size to say like an RX-4 in terms of size and starting weight, but I mean this cage is, I mean it's got crosses in the bar, crosses in the roof, it's got a Sains bar which runs down here, not just the A-pillar bar, so there's probably 10 or so extra kilos of bars and thing, and then yeah, there's some extra weight.
Have you ever weighed it?
No, I don't. It's difficult. I mean, if we were driving home now and we drove past the weighbridge, I mean, really, I've got to pull the car off the trailer and put on the. I can't be bothered. I'd love to know what it weighs. I really would, but that's a lot of effort. So unless someone's got some form of mobile race scales sort of thing, and they want to come over my house and weigh the car for me, it's not getting weighed ever. I don't have that much time to invest in bothering with that. So
have to drive down there, Broomy.
Yeah, true. Just drive it down the. Well, it's got. You can see the license plates on the car now, so it's clearly like a street car. So it's obviously registered, and I can just drive it down to the.
You don't have two headlights, so that's not a street car. At the end of the day, though, everyone wants the race rules to suit their own car.
Yeah,
that's understandable.
Yeah, no, this is. I mean, I've no doubt there'll be people out there going, "Oh, Donnie run 970, geez." Bloody Johnny, old mate, street car that I know, he drove it to the track and he ran like a 920 or an 8 this and that. Like, that's fantastic. Like, when I see him at the track next time,
we didn't build it to compete against anyway.
Yeah.
We just built it to have some fun.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. And the whole street car and race car thing, and I don't care. I doubt I'll ever build a fast street car ever again, just because of the A, I don't have time, and B, I don't have time to drive her, and B, like. What, the first time you step on the loud pedal and there's a police behind you in Victoria, there's your car. Just hand over the keys and just drive it to the nearest Sims Metal and they'll crush it for you for free. So what's the use of spending 50, 60k building a awesome fast street car these days? Where
you can't
use it. You just can't use it, and you blow the tyres off on the street and whatever half the time anyway. I'm over it. I mean, there's still plenty of people that love fast street cars and more power to them. I love looking at those cars too and that, but no, I want to go fast. I like doing it at the track.
Well, that's about it, I think. Hopefully we'll have the car back at the track soon and lean on it some more, and hopefully she hangs together.
Yeah, that's it. It's doing the job now since we changed the injectors. Everything's standing up, so I don't know how quickly I'll be back at the tracker now. So we've raced 3 times in the last 2 months, I think. Well, one time got washed out, but it's still having the time to get here. So yeah. I probably need to give some attention to the brakes again. It's still not pulling up the way it is. So I may put some bigger calipers and stuff on the fronts and delete the master cylinder. And I don't know. That's probably about it. There's not so much more I really need to do other than just stay on top of the tune-up, and then that'll be about it. Keep on keeping on and see if we can get into the 140 mile an hour plus sort of area, and 950s or quicker. That's probably the next goal for the next meeting for sure.
Alright, that's it.
Okay, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you receive notifications as soon as the next video installment comes out. Just some feedback, write in the comments and let us know what you think.